Hey everybody, it's Dave, and I'm here live in Reading, PA.
This is the Mid-Atlantic Airshow.
Air Museum, yeah, you're pretty close there. Yep, Mid-Atlantic Air Museum Air Show in Reading, PA, and World War II Air Show. So everything you see here is going to be World War II.
As you see, we have a nice sky in the background.
Yeah, we have a nice sky. It's a nice sky. Yep.
Nice and hot.
And we'll look at some of the aircraft here that are on display and flying. Kind of what?
God, I was gonna make a joke, but I don't think I can do that.
Yeah, eat your euro.
Dave is gonna tell you all of these names of all of these planes today, and we're gonna stand in front of them.
Well, we're just going to kind of go over a few.
Everything.
We're going to kind of go through all of this here. And what we want to do is a pair of sweet...
Notice, my God, it says
Oh, Lord.
fun at the fair. However, we're not at a fair.
We're not at a fair, we're at an air show.
We're at an air show.
And we're going to look at a pair of sweethearts over here. Over here.
He's talking about the airport.
Oh. Get your euro. Don't drop your euro.
All the Greeks are gonna be mad.
Yeah. Lamb meat all over the tarmac.
He's talking about the airplanes, not the men standing in front of them.
No, I'm talking about the airplanes. Okay, yeah, I'm not talking about them. There are a couple of those are some F4 Corsairs over there. Hey, and I know that these two girls have been wondering all day what's different about those airplanes.
I can honestly say I've been really curious to know what was going on with them.
You want to look at them and tell me what's different about them compared to other planes?
One of them has like checkerboards on it.
Like
well,
Vans.
yeah, you guys are looking kind of.
Have you ever seen the Vans
as a
checkerboard?
fashion book?
Wouldn't it be funny if your subscribers unsubscribed and was
They
like, let me see
probably
your
will.
daughter?
Okay, what we have here?
Under the wings.
Well, if you look at the wings, look what's different about them.
There's nothing.
It's called a gull formation. It's a gull wing.
Yeah, dummy.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, dummy, because you didn't know that either.
The other
You see how they're an inverted gull? It's an inverted gull wing, and the reason why is because the engines on these aircraft are very large. Okay, these are
Gracie, weren't you just asking me about the wing on the
Hey,
airplane the other day?
could you be quiet for like one moment? Okay, while I educate you. The engines on these aircraft were radial engines. They were big radial engines. These aircraft were made to go over 400 miles per hour at the time of very fast speed for fighter aircraft. I have no. Be quiet. I'm here to educate. Anyways, the engines on these were very large. So was the undercarriage. So they had to make the wings the shape that they made them to allow them to land. They were intended to be used on aircraft carriers as a Navy fighter, but they had initial teething problems when entering service. So really the Marines got to get to Corsair and use them first, which was really nice because Marines always got hand-me-downs, and this time they got an excellent fighter to go up against the Japanese. It's my favorite aircraft of all time, and I just got ditched, didn't I? I did get ditched. God, well, that's not very cool of them. I'm firing them. But those are two of the aircraft that you'll see here. They were made by Chance Fout. However, these could be Goodyears. One's definitely a Goodyear. Goodyear designation would have been an FG. Oh, there you are. Where'd she go? Oh, okay. She's a weenie. Sorry, guys, for shaky cam.
We'll see you when you go to the next one.
We're going to go to this one over here next.
Okay.
But I just wanted to show you guys some of the stuff that's here. Going down the line are the bombers, B-17. There's a B-29 on the end. There's a C-47 and a B-24, which actually may be a C-87 conversion. I really can't tell. That is a recreation of an Aichi D-3A Val. Notably used by the Imperial Japanese Navy. They were one of the trio of aircraft, along with the B-5N, made by Nakajima, and the Mitsubishi Zero, that were used in the attack on Pearl Harbor, but kind of pretty rampaged up and down the Pacific and pretty much had their way with American and Allied fighters until better types of fighters could show up and pilots could be trained to deal with them. This was a dive bomber. And right there, this is C-47 transport, the mainstay of our transport services. D-Day was, the anniversary of D-Day, 75th anniversary was yesterday. C-47s were used extensively throughout, especially in Europe, where they dropped paratroopers and supplies into not just Normandy, but all throughout. They were used throughout all the theaters in the war. In the Pacific, the C-46, which was a larger aircraft, was used in. Oh well, here we're coming through. So, okay, now we're going to go over here. This aircraft. Can you girls tell me why this plane has wings folded up?
Because they're too big.
Well, yeah, actually, that's pretty good. That's pretty good answer there. And I'll tell you why. This aircraft is a TB, probably a TBM. Why I say TBM is
Right here.
this aircraft. During World War II, the Army designated their fighters.
Is this a YouTube channel or a history channel?
You know what? Listen.
We love you, Dad.
Listen, you get your own channel and have fun with it. I'm going to have this until everybody decides to leave. Yeah, must be talking about my kid.
What's that green thing
What green thing?
that she's putting her hands on like this?
It's a bomb. This is a bomber. This is a dive bomb. This is a torpedo bomber.
Oh, okay.
Actually, this was a torpedo.
Continue talking about the ship. I'm listening.
Okay. Oh well, now my camera goes all whack.
How about
Okay.
you get like a Canon SG-48?
It
Can
was,
we record you too, Dad?
huh?
Do you want to?
Yeah, sure. Hey, why not? Yeah, you go ahead, take over there.
All right.
All right. This is
Abby.
TBM event made by Grumman, who also made the F-4F Wildcat, the F-6F Hellcat, some of the great fighters and bombers during torpedo bombers during the war. Why this is designated TBF, this torpedo bomber, the F was the code for Grumman. So anything that had a suffix of an F was a Grumman-made aircraft. However, Grumman was really busy. They were making F-6Fs, and so their production line was pretty much held up. So they couldn't keep doing all of them. They couldn't do the F and the F-6F Hellcats. So they put the work out towards General Motors, who made the TBM. The M standing was the manufacturer's code for General Motors.
Get in there.
The Navy was very complicated that way. Army not so. Army was okay, right there, C-47. C was a transport aircraft. P was pursuit or a fighter. B was bomber. A was attack. So then there was the number after that for like the next fighter in line. Pretty much.
Do you want to move on to the next one, or are you?
Well,
Well, tell me why the wings fold up.
The wings were folded up because it was a carrier aircraft.
Right.
And carriers have very limited space, so they have to fold up the wings so they can fit the planes on the carriers. Now, before they take off or they bring them up from below decks, the wings fold back out. The wings fold back out, and they're able to take off.
Do you mean like on a boat? Like these get carried on a boat?
These beasts were put on boats. These were big aircraft. So these aircraft, their wings would fold up too.
Right.
Not that P-48. SBDs. That's not that.
Here, ladies and gentlemen, you see this thing spinning?
Yes.
I think it's called a wheel.
A what?
It's
Wing.
not called a will.
The pillars.
Okay. You want to move on to the next plane, or are you still on this one?
Nope.
Lead me to the next
This
one.
plane was this type of plane was flown by one of our presidents.
Wow, seriously?
George H.W. Bush, who was not the youngest. Some people like to say the youngest. He was actually, I believe, the second youngest
Didn't he suck
Navy
as a president?
You
Keep
suck as an
going.
announcer.
Keep going.
Flew one of these, was shot down on a bombing raid on Chichijima because they were torpedo bombers, but they could also carry bombs.
I'm sorry,
Right.
what did he say?
And he was picked up by an American submarine.
Chichijima?
Chichijima.
Say that 8 times fast.
Do it, do it.
My darling
Do it, do it.
sweetheart.
I actually want to hear
You're
this.
You're my comedic relief. You know that?
Do it for the YouTube channel. What is it?
I don't even know if I'm gonna put this on my YouTube.
Kimijima.
Yeah, there's so many bloopers.
Yeah,
Kimijima.
this is so far gone. We're gonna experiment with this one.
And here you
Anyway.
see.
I think it's interesting.
And
Are we
telling
moving?
me you
Are we
put
moving
this-
down there, Dad?
that's not on a World War II aircraft. That's a P2.
Okay.
That's a P2.
Here.
It was used. Oh, you want me to-
Yeah.
This is a museum.
Keep walking.
This is a museum. We're not going to go down there. That's actually a museum. Pieces belongs to the Mid-Atlantic Air Museum. These other ones
We're
are
gonna go jump
owned
on
by
it.
either private sectors or other organizations.
Right.
So you know how to pause that.
Yeah, the pause button.
Go.
Intermission. Let's
Yeah.
do some pop quiz. You ready?
Yeah.
Give us
Sure.
questions.
What? Why
Answer.
did that wing fold back there?
Are you asking me or are you asking the people on the YouTube channel?
Obviously not you. You know.
Okay, there you go.
Ask us questions we know.
Ask you questions you know.
We're ready.
Did you guys actually? Okay, true or false? Did a president actually fly a combat aircraft?
True.
Okay, there you go. What does the TB stand for in?
Turbulence.
Sure.
It stands for, each one has its own letter on it. That is like a division, right?
It's
Or
no,
something like that?
no,
Okay,
no.
here, give us the answer.
Okay, torpedo bomber.
Okay, I was close.
Torpedo bombing.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
I said turbulence.
Here,
Yeah,
let's
you
get
said
some of my
turbulence.
favorite
You weren't
points.
even clear. Okay, we're gonna go over here to an army aircraft.
One last quiz question. Are you
Yeah.
ready, Abby?
Yeah, let's do it.
What kind of shark is that?
It's a tiger shark because they were the flying tigers.
Okay, we're ready for the last question.
All right. What? I don't know what to ask you. How about we drop some history on these people? How about we drop some history? I'm gonna drop. Let's get some history up in here. Let's
Some
talk about this
history up in
plane.
here
Let's
after
talk about.
When we come back.
Yeah, we're gonna drop some history on you, and we're
Pause
gonna.
it.
And
Nope.
you know you're totally disrespecting somebody's aircraft right there by sitting on their wheel
Why?
because you're totally disrespecting an aircraft.
Okay.
This is a Curtiss P40.
This is the best one ever.
This is her favorite, my mom's favorite. Everybody loves it because of the shark box. But it's not on all of this type of aircraft. It signifies the American AVG, which is the American Volunteer Group, which were Americans that volunteered to go fight in China against the Japanese Air Force, and they had P40s. I mean, they usually had P40s. They probably had a few other, probably some P36s mixed in there. But the P40 was really our best aircraft at the start of the war for the Army. However, when it came up against the Zero, it had a pretty difficult time right there. That's the A6M0. Which was an incredibly maneuverable aircraft. The problem with the Zero was it didn't have self-sealing tanks, which meant if it got hit by a shell, if it got hit by a board or shell, and it would pretty much explode. It was a fragile aircraft, very maneuverable, one of the best early war aircraft, and definitely had a fear factor to it. People heard Zero, they were, oh Lord, we have something terrible coming up against us. And the best pilots in the Imperial Navy flew the Zeros. And Imperial Navy pilots were pretty skilled. They've been doing a lot of fighting in China. And so they had a little bit more training than what the American pilots were going up against. But American pilots that volunteered for service in China would fly these. And they had the shark moths because it's kind of a fearsome, intimidating, look to it. You see that thing coming at you in the sky, you kind of want to run the other way. But they racked up a good kill ratio during their time in China. They continued to operate P-40s, and actually they were replaced by P-51s over time. But the P-51s was a much better aircraft, also an inline, but carried the British Merlin engine, which Packard would license build. Never had the same popularity as far as the Flying Tigers as what the P-40 did. It's just had captured the American public's imagination with this group. They were kind of like the cowboys of the air, so armed with 650 caliber machine guns, 3 in each wing, and to this day it's one of the crowd favorites. And I think I've gone 15 minutes on this. I think everybody's probably getting pretty bored. So there's a lot of stuff here. There's PBY Catalina. It's the first time I've seen a Catalina here. It's a flying boat made by Consolidated. That's B5N, an Nakajima B5N, that's actually a replica. Another TBF or TBM down there, and this is the only flying C-46, military C-46 left in the world. So there's a lot of stuff going on here at Reading, and it's a lot of things to do here in Reading. And they're, of course, probably one of the greatest warplanes of all time. And there are people who dispute that. It's pretty much the best of the British and American engineering, an American airframe with our excellent British engine, and made it a war winner. It's the same engine that was in another war winner, the Super Marine Spitfire, which the British would and rightfully say would be one of the best, if not the best aircraft of World War II. Except this aircraft had a lot more range, was able to escort our bombers deep into Germany, and it's just a beautiful machine. And other planes around, there's B-25 in the background. There's also one probably up in the air right now. Twin engine medium bomber, if you guys know about the Doolittle raids. That was a plane that took off from the carrier. 16 of them took off from the carrier Hornet, not that specific one. That's a later, I believe that's an H model. Much heavier gunned than the earlier B-25s. And right now in the Mid-Atlantic Museum, the music is playing, and there's going to be a big band and dancing tonight. One of the many things you can enjoy while here at Reading, PA on World War II weekend, the first full weekend of June. Thank you very much for listening, and have a lovely night.